In this week's Cord of the Rings broadcast over on Twitch, Cordovan, the community manager for Lord of the Rings Online, is back from his vacation and started off really kind of just talking about his time off and whatnot, and then letting us know that he was going to be previewing some of the Midsummer Festival cosmetics and furniture and stuff like that. And then pretty much got right into the patch notes for update 36.0.1. Now, there were some very specific Gondor Renewed updates as far as being able to fish across all of King's Gondor. They've updated some of the mob spawns to where the captains are less common, and the deserters are actually spawning faster. So some of these quests should be a little bit easier to complete and not take so long to find certain things. Also, one of the bigger ones is that the Boar Slayer deed in King's Gondor and Boar Slayer of Lower Lebanon in King's Gondor Advanced will now properly bestow in advance. So before, those just weren't working properly. So a lot of the other stuff with Gondor Renewed is just appearance work, how certain assets look in the region, and mostly how certain mobs look in the region. There were some additional updates to delving rewards as well. Fixed an issue where the 6-person instance delvings were not drawing from the correct loot pools. That actually makes a lot of sense. I've seen stuff that shouldn't be dropping. The weekly now will no longer autocomplete. Players with progress already underway in this quest will have to reset it. Completing any delving now gives a small chance at getting delving morale and power potions. That's actually kind of nice. Remove the timer from delving crafting boxes. So if you were, lucky enough to get a crafting box, it won't just expire on you randomly without paying attention to it. There is a new weekly quest for delvings for completing 3 and 6-person delving instances, and they added additional rewards to all 3 weekly delving quests. So adding a lot more functionality for delvings and more incentive to do them. So this is something that has usually been pretty criticized, is there's not a whole lot of reason to do delvings after a certain point. Now they are adding in more reasons to do them. The rest of it is really just landscape physics stuck stuff, so nothing really too much there. And that really just covered the patch notes for this week. Now, Cord did mention that there was a specific bug affecting landscape difficulty, with the reward token effect being removed if you were defeated. Now, the fix for this was that if you were to relog or teleport, that the buff would come back correctly. So they said that they checked in a fix specifically for that, but that it would require a patch to fix it, and that they're currently, as of the time that they were broadcasting, looking at a server command that they would just be able to fix and reset it. So what they're hoping is that will be the fix, and they really won't need to do much other work, but we'll have to see how that goes. The next stuff they really talked about was just some of the store offers and sales. The current basically version of the supporter pack, I asked a question during the broadcast about if there were going to be new supporter packs coming soon. Really talking about the new Tracery collection stuff with the legendary items. That is really what they're considering to be the current supporter pack, but that is also going to be a permanent addition to the store offers. So that one's not going anywhere, so you don't have to feel any rush. If you were wanting to pick that up, you don't have to pick it up right now. The next portion of the stream, which was pretty much a bulk of the stream, was checking out the Midsummer cosmetics and furniture items and pet. So if that is something that interests you, there is a pretty good preview of all of the cosmetics, the war steed cosmetics, the actual steed, the tunics, cloaks, pet, the furniture. There's actually some really cool yard items as far as like the dais and then the rotunda and all that stuff. Some really cool ones. So if you have one of the bigger yards out in like Belfalas or Rohan or something like that, then you can use some of these, awesome, really big items, all the way down to a little music stand. So there's some cool stuff. If housing is your thing, then this festival has all new cosmetics and furniture for you to pick up. It was also mentioned that during the broadcast, Severlin, the executive producer, well, two things really. He will be on a stream next week, likely with a Q&A, much like previous streams, and also that he tweeted out about lag performance in LOTRO, that they found two big sources of lag in the game, and they are currently working on fixes for that. So that is very exciting news. That is something that has, I will just say, it has plagued this game for a very long time and has made some of the later content sometimes unplayable. I've experienced that a lot recently with doing group-based content where, you know, you have 10 to 15 seconds of just nothing happening. So if they can find a way to address the lag in the game, that is actually a huge thing that is being resolved. It sounds like that is being roughly slated for update 37, because this is going to be a pretty extensive thing. This isn't going to be just like a hot fix. This is going to be something that requires a full-on patch with some changes. There were some questions in chat asked about the new launcher. It sounds like the new launcher is coming along just fine, but there is no announcement at this point. But it is still coming, and along with that, it sounds like two-factor authentication is still on the way. Along with that, there's a couple projects that are all kind of hinging on certain things. UI work is one of those as well. UI work, Severlin said in one of the previous live streams that it's just taking them longer than they expect. So I asked a question about that in chat as well, and you know, it was just acknowledged that yes, it is taking longer than they would like, and that they don't have anything to announce with that, and you know, that's where they are with it. There was another question asked in chat about characters from legacy servers. So if you were on a server that is now closed, or with a dark server at this point, it's been a while since characters have been able to be transferred off of those servers. That is largely due to the fact that they have updated the game client and game servers to 64-bit, and those old servers were 32-bit, also making it so that the old servers are not compatible with the new servers and new clients. It makes it incredibly difficult for them to move those characters off. It is still something they would like to do. Cord did mention that, you know, people were given 4 or 5 years to move those characters off, so it's not a high priority for them at this point, but it is still something that they would like to do. The last portion of the stream was really just kind of doing some gameplay of Gondor Renewed and talking about some VR stuff and recent news in the tech space. So that's really all there is for this week's Court of the Rings. I expect more next week with the Q&A with Severlin, so keep an eye out for that, and then we'll kind of see if there's any new tidbits or any new exciting things that we can talk about then. So thank you all for watching, and like always, be sure to like and subscribe, and head over to Twitch at twitch.tv/Bloodborne. Make sure you're following over there for any of my live content, and I will see you guys in the next video and live stream. Take it easy.